So you're obviously traveling a lot. And I did ask Rebecca, your assistant, whether or not you've been to Buffalo, but you haven't been to Buffalo. So hey, if you end up coming to Buffalo, hit me up and we'll grab some chicken wings. Home of the
I
chicken
would
wing.
love that. I love buffalo chicken wings. All my life I've been ordering it and wonder where Buffalo. I finally learned later in college why Buffalo. It's the city. I'll be honest, man. Hey, man, we immigrants learn things a little late here, but I did see Buffalo on the other side on Niagara Falls. I was able
cool.
to, yeah. So I was standing on the side of the falls, looking over, and people said that's New York. I'm like, really? It's pretty cool. But that's as much as I've seen of Buffalo. But
you'll have to let me know when you're up here. I'll show you all the good wing joints around here.
Oh, thanks, brother. I will.
But you travel a lot. I mean, you travel a lot. You're a businessman. How many countries are you in conversation with now? And how many countries do you have contracts with? And do you see that expanding?
Wow. When you talk about in conversation, over a dozen.
Wow.
Countries that are with contracts, and I want to be careful as a NASDAQ company, countries that we have contracts and agreements with, also a dozen. Okay, also a dozen, if not more. But why is it important that I explain it and share it with you this way? Here's the misconception, and I think most of the time it's in the OTC world, Eric, and I'll speak to it, right? I've had experience in that world too, and I always thought I didn't belong because I didn't know how to play in that world, right? Why? IVEDA's been always so busy taking care of our customers, solving hard problems, and man, trying to get technology to work the way our customers desire for it to work. I have no time to be concerned about anything else but what we are deploying and executing on behalf of these agencies, customers, and different, in different countries. So when I say we've got agreements and contracts, it's not like in a miracle firework that all of a sudden there's a press release, boom, they did. You know how much work is involved to deploy an actual technology application down a street corner? It takes time, effort, permits and labor, no matter how cool the tech is. And I just had to share that because a lot of people just think that things happen overnight and expect a public company to put out firework PR, but that's not to say. Hang tight. IVEDA's got a lot of exciting opportunities that we're executing on right now, Eric, and we're operating at a very sophisticated level. I'm happy to tout that. Again, I'm not out there selling a million hotcakes and hope to do it over again next month. We're building solutions that's going to last for the life of the community. Once we put something in, Eric, it's not about it. Oh, you're not going to get bored of IVEDA's technology and products. It's going to be part of your life. So as we deploy what's part of your life, it's going to take some time to scale. But once we scale, I've heard from a CEO that I look up to a lot. I'll drop his name too. He's a former CEO of Throwback USA, Jorge Rodriguez, one of my mentors. I see him as. He says, David, you don't just make an elephant take a step. You can't force an elephant to move. But once an elephant decides to take that step, you also cannot stop that elephant. This is what IVEDA's markets represent. Not anybody can enter the market that we are in because you got to know how to play it. You got to know how to tend to it. But man, once it scales, Eric, it's gone. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to have the need, and it's going to continue to expect more. And when you're a company that can deliver that, that's where we win. That's the difference.
Right on. I mean, I could just imagine, the pressure of traveling, and you said dozens and dozens is essentially, traveling for business. And what's it like having conversations with foreign government entities, and how's the reception of IVEDA been? I mean, that must be a stressful thing, but I mean, you obviously have the knack of a communicable ability to work with people very, very well. But what's it like?
It's like going into an amusement park and hopping on a roller coaster for the first time. It's going to be fun, but you're still kind of like, oh boy, Who am I going to see again? Oh boy. Wow, that room is pretty big. And look at those chairs. Oh my God. Eric, it never gets old. When you think you're used to something, you still get nervous. I'm still there. I don't know if it's excitement or nerves, but I enjoy it a lot. And I'm happy to share. People are nice. People are so nice around the world. And they want, just like us, just like even our shareholders who are watching this, they're curious, man. They ask me, so David, what's been going on? They want to learn from me what's happening back in the United States, right? How are things? And what do people like to see, hear, and feel? And I get to tell my story. They get to tell me their story,
Mm.
and then we kind of click. And once you click, no matter what level, from generals to ministers to mayors to engineer to facilities manager, it doesn't matter. Once you click on the human side, you start hearing the truth. You start hearing, man, it'd be nice if I can do this with what I've got. And oh man, I've had that for 12 years and nothing has worked. I spent $6 million on it, this, and that. You start hearing the truth. And given that fact is where I come into play. This is why I travel so much. I'm learning. I'm learning how to best apply IVEDA technology. I'm not going around town touting, I've got AI, I've got AI. Man, what the heck is your AI good for if you can't solve somebody's problem? So that's what, that again, coming back to your prior question, what makes IVEDA unique? I'm so excited. I don't know how to express it for you. We've made so many friends and partners and customer alliances that I'll tell you, at time of scale, it's going to be ridiculous because we're doing things the right way. We're not forcing a product to be sold and getting a PO here just to get excited about a deal. Man, I'm building the future. I'm building a family, a global family of people who understand what IoT, how to make something smart, and actually have an answer to, why do you need this to be smart? What's it going to do for you? What's the application? So why do I know so much? Because I get to meet all these wonderful people and they tell me all this stuff. They share with me all this stuff. It's a wealth of knowledge, man. And I'm privileged.
Yeah, in doing this, I started this channel about a year ago, and I started doing these interviews. And you know what? In the traders world, especially a lot of traders come out of the woodwork around 2020 and 2021, and they look at share price, look at charts, share price and charts. But one thing that I really wanted to capitalize on here, and I've done this, for a while now, like a couple months, especially, this is my focus, is to focus on what you just mentioned, the human element, the connectivity, because no matter where the share price is, there are people with ambitions and goals that put a lot of work into their business. Now, whether or not businesses succeed or fail, that's one thing, but there really is a human element. And I'll tell you right now, one thing that I absolutely love is being able to connect with people like you and people with other people that have been on this channel to learn their story and really like learn how they've gotten where they are today. And I like the human element of the trader world, of the business world, because that just makes the business more, what's the word I'm trying to say? It makes it more meaningful to me when I could look in your eyes and I could see, that you're gleaming with joy talking about your team, that, and you still have that passion after 20 years. That's freaking cool. And so that's what we like to focus on here, is basically the people behind the business, people behind the ticker.